The torrential rains in Chengdu flooded numerous areas, and bridges were washed away. Zhuozhou's disaster aftermath: many went bankrupt, and flood-ravaged homes can't be cleaned up. An explosion occurred in the province of Shandong, causing fatalities and injuries. Unease within the CCP is fueled by the resurgence of Soviet-style humor on social media. Investors panicked when a CCP enterprise stopped making payments worth $48 billion. It's all covered in today's China Truths. The torrential rains in Chengdu flooded numerous areas, and bridges were washed away. In recent times, China has been grappling with a series of persistent flood events. Following instances of flooding in Beijing, Hebei, and Heilongjiang, significant precipitation has also been recorded in Chengdu, Sichuan. This surge in rainfall has led to substantial inundation within urban areas, destroying certain bridge structures as they were swept away by the deluge. Notably, local residents have taken to the internet to disseminate videos illustrating the extent of the damage caused by the intense precipitation in Chengdu. A case in point involves a traveler originating from Chengdu who was en route to the Zhongrong scenic spot situated in Zhongzhou city. These individuals found themselves trapped due to the escalating floodwaters. Through a shared video, the traveler showcased the forceful ingress of floodwaters onto the streets, jokingly stating their readiness to revert to aquatic means for the journey back to Chengdu. Additionally, another video underscored the occurrence of a flash flood within the Waxianga scenic area, located in Jintang County, Chengdu. The video footage illustrated the collapse of bridge piers and the subsequent destruction of bridges as a result of the surging floodwaters. Prompted by the escalating situation, on the evening of August 11th, at 1500 hours local time, the Chengdu Meteorological Observatory released a blue rainstorm warning, indicating the anticipation of thunderstorm activity within Chengdu from the evening of the 11th to the 12th. It further cautioned that these thunderstorms would bring about considerable and heavy rainfall, escalating the existing flood-related concerns. The local party media provided comprehensive insight into the prevailing weather conditions. According to reports dated the 13th, the city has encountered a total of 170 torrential rainstorms, out of which 52 were classified as severe torrential rainstorms. Furthermore, the report highlighted specific instances of impact, delineating 21 locations across 9 districts and counties that experienced adverse effects. Noteworthy among these were incidents of waterlogging at crucial sites such as the North Gate of Tianhu Garden in Pingzhou City, the entrance of Tongsu Kindergarten on Haichang North Road in the high-tech zone, and the teaching building of Jintang Middle School in Jintang County. The report also underscored the occurrence of waterlogging along roadways, mountain torrent disasters along the western mountainous regions, and localized flooding along small and medium-sized rivers. It is pertinent to mention that while the report offers a comprehensive assessment of the geographical and infrastructural impact caused by the heavy rainfall, it omits information regarding the extent of human impact resulting from the disaster. Notably, other official media outlets depicted the heavy rainfall in Chengdu as a respite from the heat and even highlighted anecdotes such as residents in the Xinjiang district catching fish on flooded streets. However, there appears to be a lack of reporting regarding the potential loss of life and property attributed to urban flooding. Zhuozhou's disaster aftermath: many went bankrupt, and flood-ravaged homes can't be cleaned up. In the aftermath of the calamity, flood victims in Zhuozhou have begun laborious attempts to rebuild their homes and businesses. However, the magnitude of the losses has been devastating for many, leaving tens of thousands of residents in financial despair. A poignant video depicts the hardship of a female business owner who reveals losing millions of yuan while witnessing her warehouse destroyed. She lamented, "We have a loan, a car loan, and a house loan. Now that it's like this, I don't want to live anymore." Her despair is emblematic of the broader sentiment among survivors, who, burdened by existing loans for vehicles and properties, express a bleak outlook on their financial future. According to official figures, the flooding has affected an estimated 3.888.600 people in Hebei province as of August 10, resulting in a staggering direct economic loss of 95.811 billion yuan, approximately $13.191 billion. Zhuozhou is one of the province's most seriously damaged areas, with its metropolitan landscape submerged in floods. According to a video, Zhuozhou's library warehouses were in disarray following the flood. Thousands of tons of books were soaked in water and turned into waste paper, and a female boss stood among the garbage-filled piles, crying, "What I have accumulated over the past 20 years is gone. I have never seen that much water in my life." Interviews with individuals from the Zhuozhou agricultural products wholesale market shed light on the extent of the devastation, where no less than 700 merchants experienced irreparable losses, including perishable goods that transitioned into waste overnight. Notably, the adverse impact on transportation and infrastructure exacerbates the recovery challenges faced by businesses and residents alike. Official pronouncements indicated that victims were potentially eligible for compensation amounting to 70%. However, the prevailing reality starkly contrasts with these claims, as intricate details surrounding the compensation process remain ambiguous and no individual has yet received any form of compensation. Ultimately, this disaster has revealed the depths of the devastation suffered by the most vulnerable segments of society, particularly the impoverished farmers who have borne the brunt of the flood's impact. The flood's devastation has been particularly severe in Dozhuang Town, Zhuozhou, emphasizing the critical need for a rapid official evaluation of damages and subsequent compensation to the afflicted population. Ms. Zhang, a local, makes her living by making tofu, but the flood destroyed her business. Her stored soybeans, amounting to 1,500 kilograms, have succumbed to mold and odor. However, due to a pending assessment by authorities, the cleanup process remains suspended. The absence of an official evaluation hinders Ms. Zhang's ability to discard the spoiled inventory, as there is no guarantee of reimbursement. "Now I can only stink. The government hasn't come to assess the damage, and if I throw it away, no one will pay for it," she said. Mr. Liu, a villager, said, "The damage has not been determined. Our house has not been tidied up, and there is no way to live in it. This is the most urgent thing." Another villager said, "As long as this matter is settled, we can quickly dispose of the damaged things." Nevertheless, on August 13, the engagement between villagers and governmental officials regarding the evaluation of post-disaster losses yielded no consensus. Despite the completion of damage assessment forms, the villagers still couldn't proceed with cleanup activities, leaving their flood-ravaged homes in disarray. They said angrily, "If we don't let us clean it up, there will be maggots in 2 months. The house collapsed and no one took care of it, and the street was full of garbage and no one cleared it. When will it be finished? The longer the wait, the greater the loss." The tragic situation in Zhuozhou after the disaster aroused public attention. A netizen once said on Weibo, "They, officially, talk about serving the people, but the people they talk about are limited to party secretaries and cadres." To protect Xiong'an, my hometown was flooded. As a result, we had to flee to hotels in Xiong'an like refugees, but the price of the hotel increased from 80 yuan per night to 200 yuan per night. Residents who complained to the government were served by the police, who dispersed, beat, or arrested them. However, the post was quickly deleted. Recent events have witnessed flood victims across Hebei seeking explanations and compensation from the government for losses stemming from the controlled flood discharge. In response to potential civil unrest, authorities announced an allocation of 1 billion yuan, about $137.7 million, to compensate victims for their losses on August 9. However, some victims reported that not only did they not see compensation, but they were also pressured by the authorities. An explosion occurred in the province of Shandong, causing fatalities and injuries. At approximately 7:15 a.m. on August 13, an explosion transpired on Fenghuang Street, Gaomi City, Shandong Province. The explosion emanated from a local grilled fish shop and triggered significant devastation in the surrounding area. The explosion's impact was substantial, causing a bank and the adjacent grilled fish shop to be rendered unrecognizable due to the force of the explosion. The explosion led to the loss of 2 lives and left 2 others injured. Surveillance footage demonstrated the release of a considerable amount of smoke and dust, which directly affected vehicular traffic on the opposite side of the street. The explosion also resulted in the dispersion of a significant number of window glass shards and debris, causing disorder on the streets. The Emergency Management Department of Shandong Province promptly responded to the incident, assessing that the explosion originated from a gas flash in the local grilled fish shop. Contrary to initial assumptions, the explosion's epicenter was not situated within the grilled fish shop, as the force of the explosion was not commensurate with such a location. The government temporarily closed nearby establishments in response to the incident. This incident adds to a series of explosions that have occurred in mainland China over the past few months. These explosions have collectively resulted in a substantial loss of life and property. Notably, the most serious explosion accident took place on June 21 in a barbecue restaurant in Yinchuan City, Ningxia, leading to at least 31 deaths and 7 injuries. Furthermore, an explosion and fire at the hydrogen peroxide production area of Shandong Sinochem Group Lucy Chemical on May 1 resulted in 9 deaths, 1 injury, and 1 missing person. On the day of the Dragon Boat Festival, June 22, an explosion occurred at the Inco Iron and Steel plant in Liaoning, causing at least 4 deaths and 5 injuries. On May 26, the explosion at the Zhongtuan police station in Daqing County, Langfang, Hebei Province, resulted in 4 deaths and 2 lost contacts. Unease within the CCP is fueled by the resurgence of Soviet-style humor on social media. The resurgence of Soviet-style humor on Chinese social media platforms has been observed. Their art is in being too obscure for censors to understand yet clear enough to make a cynic chuckle to himself. Certain instances of Soviet-style jokes were intentionally cryptic, revealing their ironic undertones only when Chinese censors took action to remove them. This phenomenon draws parallels to the cat-and-mouse dynamics seen in the humor of former Soviet dissidents, as highlighted by the Financial Times. An illustrative case in point is a recent original joke reported by the China Digital Times, which embodies this complex nature. The joke in question recounts a scenario where an individual stumbles upon a tarnished copper lamp while traveling. Upon vigorously cleaning the lamp, a demon emerges, claiming the ability to fulfill any wish. The individual jestingly engages the demon in a conversation about improbable desires, prompting the demon to abruptly silence them, raising doubts about voicing such thoughts. This joke was shared on Weibo on August 7 by the account Blame Eat a Convincing Cats. Presently, the original post has been rendered inaccessible with a 404 error, and suspicions arise that the author has faced a ban. A notice displayed on the author's Weibo account homepage cites violations of the Weibo Community Convention as the reason for the viewing restrictions. The China Digital Times astutely noted that the censor's decision to ban the joke and its creator inadvertently substantiated the joke's intended impact, essentially affirming its punchline. The publication emphasized that this occurrence isn't the first instance where a Soviet-style joke has transcended mere humor to reflect a facet of Chinese reality. This also serves to underscore the emergence of increasingly intricate forms of political humor as a response to China's rigorous control over political discourse on social media platforms. Correspondingly, the Financial Times asserted that black humor stands as just one element within a series of unfavorable indicators that have recently plagued the CCP. These indicators include the discernible ramifications of a decelerating economic growth trajectory, marked by the diffusion of labor unrest, a pronounced surge in youth unemployment, a steady decline in property values since mid-2021, and a palpable sense of diminished financial well-being among households. Investors panicked when a CCP enterprise stopped making payments worth $48 billion. Reports concerning the suspension of payments for Zhongrong Trust products have recently been circulating in mainland online media channels, gaining momentum within various WeChat groups. This has consequently triggered a fresh wave of investor panic, leading them to spontaneously form multiple advocacy groups to safeguard their rights. As of the evening of August 11, at least 3 publicly listed Chinese companies have reported that they have not been able to recover both the principal and scheduled income from the Zhongrong Trust products they had purchased. Among these cases, Jinbo Company announced on August 11, revealing that it still has an outstanding principal of 60 million yuan, about $8.265 million, and an uncollected investment income of 4.26 million yuan, about $586,801, from its acquisition of Zhongrong Trust's products. The company faces the potential risk of not receiving the complete amount of principal and interest, possibly only a partial payment. Likewise, on the same day, Narada Property disclosed that the 30 million yuan, about $4.132 million, worth of Zhongrong Trust products it acquired couldn't be paid upon maturity, carrying a risk of incomplete recovery for both principal and interest. These products were initially slated for the period from February 9, 2023, to August 8, 2023. According to information gathered by the Financial Associated Press from former investors and some ex-employees of Zhongrong Fortune, certain Zhongrong Trust products have indeed ceased their redemption operations. A former employee of Zhongrong Wealth revealed that the suspended payment of products currently amounts to around 350 billion yuan, about $48.21 billion, excluding Zhongrong Trust's self-operated pipeline products due to their unclassifiable nature. Another ex-employee of Datang Fortune shared that, to his knowledge, certain financial products associated with specific companies, issued by the four major wealth companies, are facing payment suspensions. The halt also extends to the Zhongrong Trust portfolio investment products sold by these major wealth companies. Meanwhile, within Zhongrong Trust's self-operated channel, several portfolio investment products have ceased both their fundraising and redemption activities. Additionally, certain cash management plan products have experienced suspended redemptions due to significant redemption clauses. Public information indicates that Zhongrong Trust is a central enterprise that is primarily controlled by Jingwei Textile Machinery Company with a 37.47% stake. Notably, the private entity Zhongji Enterprise Group holds 32.99% of shares, yielding significant influence over Zhongrong Trust. The primary factor contributing to Zhongrong Trust's challenges is widely believed to stem from setbacks in real estate investments. In recent years, the proportion of Zhongrong Trust's assets allocated to real estate investments has steadily risen. Data cited from the Shenzhen Business Daily indicates that the allocation for trust assets in real estate was 6.61%, 10.99%, 17.65%, and 18% from 2017 to 2020, respectively. By the close of June 2022, Zhongrong Trust's ongoing real estate business amounted to 79.3 billion yuan, about $10.923 billion, with certain real estate-linked projects facing postponements. Especially considering the authorities' recent political suppression of China's real estate sector, coupled with unresolved debt crises, these factors are likely key contributors to the predicament faced by Zhongrong Trust. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.